Before we look at patterns at all scales, we need to look at the foundations of measurement. There are primarily two measurement systems used in the world today. The United States uses the British imperial system of inches, feet, and miles, while the rest of the world, including Britain, has converted to the metric system, which was initially introduced in revolutionary France. Both systems were originally based on the dimensions of the Earth and on cycles of time. In the lost science of measuring the Earth, Robin Heath and John Michell showed that the English foot must have been defined by measuring the Earth's equatorial circumference. The number of English feet around the equator is 1,000 times the number of degrees in a circle times the number of days in a year. This beautiful relationship of a circle to time is 99.994% accurate according to the modern geodetic standard. 528 is a key which harmonizes the measurements of the Earth, Moon, and Sun with time. The numbers 528 form a trinity within the Ennead, of which I'll say more about later. First, let us consider the Earth. Its dimensions can be expressed with great elegance due to the fact that there are 5,280 feet in a mile. In Before the Pyramids, Christopher Knight and Alan Butler show that the unit we now call the meter was used 1,000 years before the three pyramids of Giza at Thornborough in England. Three henges having the same relative positions on the ground as the belt stars of Orion in the sky are at a site that is 1/10 of the Earth's polar circumference from the North Pole. The distance between the outer henges is exactly 1,500 meters on center. Knight and Butler show that the meter is not an arbitrary measure, but rather is fundamentally connected to time. The seconds pendulum has a period of 2 seconds, 1 second for a swing in one direction, and 1 second for a swing in the opposite direction. The length of the seconds pendulum is 1 meter. In 1675, Tito Burattini proposed the length of the seconds pendulum be called the meter, more than 100 years before the meter was officially defined as the distance of 10 million units from the equator to the North Pole, running through Paris as the prime meridian. Today the meter is circularly defined in terms of the speed of light, which is itself measured in meters per second. The nautical mile, which is still used by mariners and pilots, was originally defined as 1 minute of arc along any meridian. There are therefore 21,600 nautical miles in the polar circumference of the Earth. The Moon harmonizes with this number, as there are 2,160 miles in the lunar diameter.